So here you go, Jimmy, class number 11, now big 1-1. What do you think of that?
Oh God, it's coming to a close, I think.
You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
I think last week we got a lot done.
Yes,
I'd
like to think we're going to do the same thing today.
We are. I'm going to review with you now. Last week we finished the inside arms, and you started pin tacking the back, and we got to pin tacking across the top.
Right.
And then we pulled it down, and I think we got one pin tack. Now I noticed that you got that pin tack above. Just want to turn the chair just to show people. Everybody does this, Jimmy, so don't feel bad. Everybody wants the pin tack up top, this top rail, but what you want to do is, can you change that pin tack to here? It does make a difference, and I'll show you why. It's not because I'm being picky.
You are being picky. You know that. It's all about you.
Actually, the reason you do that is it closes it up from the inside. It looks better when it's down below. And also, these cuts that we're about to make, it's going to make it easy.
Well, I put it up there because they said, oh, more tension.
Yeah, everybody logics it. That's the logic. Now, I think, did I? Oh, yeah, look, Jimmy, we did cut this side. So that was the right-hand side. The good thing about teaching somebody that's left-handed is that you can attempt. Do you want to attempt to do these cuts over here?
Yes, I would like to.
Okay, can I just, a little tool for you. Take a piece of chalk.
Yes.
Okay, fold the fabric. Try to get the fabric, tight in where you're going to be cutting. And then with the piece of chalk, I want you to chalk what you think the 3 cuts are, and then I'll check them, okay? Just kind of.
3 cuts?
There are 3 cuts, and I'm going to just refresh your memory. There's a cut to the top of that hidden post, right? You can't see it right now unless you want to go back and look at it.
Okay.
That's the horizontal post.
Okay.
And then one below that to the bottom of that horizontal post. And then a 3rd cut, starting from the top down. The 3rd cut is going to be doing 2 things. It's going to let you feed the fabric through the outside back.
Okay.
And the inside outside arm.
Okay.
So it does 2 things. So I'll let you why don't you reason that out and I'll take a look at it.
All right, Kevin.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn this around to show people something here. See the shark. So that first cut, you're way too high. So
Really?
Let's turn it around. Well, for you, Jimmy, you see this horizontal board right there? That's what you're cutting around. Let's just turn and show the people. So it's right along here that he has to cut around.
Okay.
So I'm going to explain something. I'm going to draw this out for you.
Okay.
Let you cut it. Ignore that first one, you're way too high. So you got to be near the bottom here. We're just going to turn this
At the
way.
good angle? Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we can get this on camera. So it's right here. And your second cut was good.
Okay.
Your second cut was good. I mean, your second chalk line was good as your
Yeah.
second cut. So you're going to cut to here. And then from this cut, you're going to cut down like that.
Ah.
Okay, and then the 3rd cut, forget about this one, okay? The 3rd cut, I'm just going to go like this, right like this.
Oh.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead. Do you want to use these scissors?
Yes, I think I should.
Okay. Don't go over cutting now. Undercut
No,
better.
I'll undercut for sure.
Go a little deeper, right to about there with that cut. Beware your inside arm, too, fabric. Okay, good. Your second cut, you went to your 3rd cut, your second cut down like that. Bessie for a second? Yeah, I know you're having a hard time. This is actually a very awkward cut. And Jimmy's trying to help. He's trying to help you guys by staying off camera, but I'm going to help him just go a little bit to there. And then your 3rd cut was correct, Jimmy.
Okay.
But it has to be cut a little deeper. So a lot's going on here. He's going to pull this through, not all the way, but just he's gonna tuck that through here.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna take his tail, he created a tail section, you're gonna push that through this way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna the remainder of the fabric to the outside back. So why don't you just kind of push it through and see what it looks like. Now on that side, you're gonna have to create a hole inside your arm, unless you can find a hole in
No,
there.
I'm gonna need the,
Can I just, we bring
Sure.
it this way, let's show people what's happening here. So this is closed right here, right?
Yep.
So it's very important when you make your hole has to be in line with the back, with the inside back right here, in order to make it look good.
not just anywhere.
Right, so you want to just make a little slash like that and then pull that through, Jimmy?
Okay.
Okay, let's bring it back for the camera this way. And let's pull that through to the end, and there you go. Now, Jimmy, what I want you to do for the
Am I
camera,
just tucking it in?
you can just that's all you want to do for now, because we have to make some more cuts up there.
Ah,
So
okay.
you don't want to tuck it in all the way. Notice how we didn't do it over
Yes.
there. What I want you to do for the camera's sake, right? Give that tail section a pull towards you. Look at that, my friend. That looks good. I want that tacked. Tack that down.
Okay.
Because that looks so good.
Could I have one, I don't wanna cut the camera. So when you're doing a chair like this, how many tails, as you call it, should be?
You have 4 tails altogether there. That's a good question. That's a transition point right here. So you have your arm, that was a tail to the back. I don't know if you remember that. And then your inside back, which is a tail to the outside arm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this is all about creating, Jimmy. A lot of people don't even bother with the tails, but they don't end up with a really good product because they'll pull all their fabric through this way, and you lose this whole piece in here. It doesn't look good as a transition.
Well,
So nice
again,
that
because,
looks?
what you said earlier regarding the seam, or rather somebody looking through the
Right.
through the chair, so
And
you
this
don't
is-
wanna do that.
Even though it's having a cushion, you
Right.
still want a good product. But if you weren't having a cushion, it'd be even more important to do this,
Okay.
or a crown seat. So now we're going to flip the chair around for the camera to see. The next thing that Jimmy has to do is secure the entire inside back down with tabs. Okay, because you're still loose here, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
So what I want him to do is pull and tack about every 2 inches. He can pin tack if he likes. And then I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, so now, let me explain what's to happen. Now that he's secured the entire back, we're gonna just check to see if this is adequately stretched. I would be very surprised if this is stretched enough up top. Remember, we just pin tacked this.
Right.
So I'm just gonna give it, the way to check to see is just gently, just kinda with a little pressure, a gentle pressure, and just kinda go like that. If you see a pinch,
Right.
that means you have to stretch it out a little bit. So what I want you to do, it's impossible to do this with it folded, okay?
Yeah.
So the reason we got away with it on our inside arms is because there wasn't much padding. But now you're dealing with more padding, so you're gonna have to, what I want you to do, instead of taking the whole thing off,
Take off the cement.
half a side at a time. Half a side at a time. And so I'll show you. I'm gonna actually show you this, what I want.
Instead of having the middle just done?
We're gonna take, well, instead of losing, see what you've got here, you've accomplished some stretching already. So you don't wanna undo the whole thing and you're back to square one, all right?
Mhm.
So what you do is you leave a half side attached. And then what I want you to do is unfurl this, okay? Unfurl this, and I want you to stretch, use your hand to stretch up and this way, two-way stretch. And I want you to, actually what you could do, it looks like I'm doing a little bit more force with this, but I'm not. What I'm doing is, I'm bringing it up, I'm getting that pinch out, and then I'm stretching this way. So it's a two-way stretch.
Okay.
So, yeah, you got a tack on that? We'll just get one tack like one. Oh, you got one tack. And then I'm gonna pin tack. Okay, so what I essentially just did there, because I almost got that whole half side with that one stretch,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not. So what I want you to do is unfurl it like to right to here, and then just kind of, all you need to do now, because the stretch is there, is bring it up, tack, bring it up, tack, bring it up, tack. About
Mhm.
4 tacks in there.
So we're not, so with the leftover material, what are we gonna do?
We have to trim it.
Oh, so that's the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference. And then what I want you to do after you get that done,
Do the other
I
side.
want you to undo this, unfurl it,
Mhm.
and do a same stretch that I just showed you on that side. Then I'm gonna check your work, okay? So the pressure's on, Jimmy.
My work!
The pressure's on.
I've never been so insulted in my life. Okay, Kevin.
Oh, wow, Jimmy, you're getting good with that hammer.
Well, a few thousand more times, I might have something going on.
Just gonna bring it forward. I want to show people what you did. Very good eye, too. I noticed that you kept within, you have a little dip here. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, that's what I was, the middle was.
You're doing pretty good. Some of your tacks wanted, but I think you'll be able to. You're a good woodworker, so you'll be able to fix that. But what I'm looking at now, it's kind of hard, isn't it, to get it stretched
Mm-hmm.
and to get the tack in that small tack line, right?
Yes.
It really is tough.
Different technique from than just pulling it and tacking.
Yeah, I mean, before you could see when you fold it, it gives you a nice line too, but
Yes.
unfortunately, the stretch is more important than getting a couple of holes that you can refill later, that's fine. But what I'm mainly doing is I'm checking to see if the stretch is there, and the stretch is good. So if you had springs in this, or more padding,
Mm-hmm.
you would be stretching it even more. So what I'm gonna do one more time, yeah, it's
Really?
the more filling, the more spring you have in anything, the more stretch, and it depends on the fabric. Sometimes you're pin tacking 1, 2, 3, 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
5 times sometimes before you get it just right. So it's never, see, this is one of the things that people forget, and this is why the online classes are good. Stretching is a lost art within upholstery. Manufacturers do not even think about this. They just give a guy a staple gun and say, here, attach that panel, and you're done with it, with no idea of stretching. And the reason you want to properly stretch a piece of fabric over anything is for longevity. You want people to sit on it and sit on it many, many times before it starts to wrinkle or the fabric starts to fail because you didn't attach it properly.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is really good. I'm going to check now. I'm going to go down now with it to see if I can get. Nope, you're good. There was no wrinkle. There was no looseness down. So
No, there was wrinkled down.
you only have it pin tacked down below. So you
that's
could take the pin tacks out a half side at a time, like you did up
Oh,
top.
so wherever the wrinkle, whichever the way you're going, is is the way.
It's
you
always
do it.
opposite, you're always working opposite sides.
Okay.
So that's why we're checked down, you're good.
Okay.
So now you're ready, what that means is you're ready to make the cuts to the top. Now, I'm
Oh.
gonna turn the chair to show people. So Jimmy's got it cut on the other side. Now, I mean, this is our inside arm,
Yes.
right? Now, I think, hold on, let me just check something. We can actually secure the inside arm. I'm gonna do that now. So we leave this we left open so that we can get access for our inside back.
You already had the game plan
So,
ready to
so
go.
now though, we can actually just secure the inside arm because we're good with that, okay? I'm gonna do the same on the other side.
Okay.
So now we're good. So now Jimmy has to cut, I'm gonna cut one side for you, Jimmy, and I'll let you maybe chalk out the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So this fabric, the inside back has to pull through to the outside arm. So it can't right now because it's not cut around this post. Now, what you're cutting around here now is this post.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna peruse this a little bit. You actually have to make a cut up to here too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a pleat inside there. So to make it easy for you to trim, or you don't have to trim inside this area, and I'll explain that in a minute. So what I'm gonna do, we'll get to the camera, we're gonna get a good angle. So you as a left-handed person, you wanna attack this side, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me get my scissors.
You had.
So I'm gonna fold this back a little bit to try to get a view of that. So that's like that. Okay, and I'm gonna take a little peek, another peek at my wood, where my wood frame is. And look at the angle, notice the angle I'm gonna cut up like this.
Now, why is that versus straight across?
Because I think it gives me more strength. You could be straight across, but sometimes you want more fabric up. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute with this next cut.
Okay.
Okay, so that can get pulled through gently. Guess what? I made a mistake.
No, what? Look, cut!
No, we don't have to cut, you guys. But isn't that funny? I made a mistake. We should have left the arms open. Okay? That's why the arms were left open. So the inside back, you guys, has to get tagged first. Isn't that funny? So you see, even I can make a mistake, right, Jimmy?
I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Isn't that what you tell me all the time?
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, when you're working on a piece week to week, you kind of forget things. But so.
Oh, well, I think maybe we can have you subscribe to.
Yeah, my own online classes. So it's very simple to open up, but the inside back has to come through first, and then that gets tacked first, and then the outside arm, the inside arm gets tacked over
Okay,
that.
so why did you not slice like we did down below?
Well, it's
Or
a different
just
cut.
Different
So-
cut.
So now, see how nice, come on over here and take a look at this, Jimmy. See how nice that is?
Oh, wow.
So that you just gave that a little pull, which, why don't
Yeah.
you give it another little pull for the camera sees it? Not a hard pull. You see that pull? It's a little too firm, Jimmy, but
Two?
ease up a little bit. Perfect. We're gonna staple that in a minute, just like that. Okay, so now what we need to do though, and then we're gonna staple the outside arm, the inside arm over the inside back, and you'll see that in a minute. But we have to make another cut. Now this is very important, okay, because you have wood frame here that's gonna be in your way, right?
Well-
Solid wood.
I thought you were gonna kind of cut it to fit the frame.
No, what I'm
No.
gonna do is I'm gonna make, this is where your angle cut's important, because you want this to pleat up here. I'll show you that in a minute. I
This
need
is
to
all-
actually, I don't wanna get in the way of the camera. This is a tough, I'm gonna bring it this way. And I'm gonna stand over here. Normally I'd be standing in front, but I wanna show people. I'm trying to get it close to the top of this wood right here, which is, this is a solid wood frame. It's about 4 inches wide.
Right.
So I'm going to show you a little technique. We're going to cut to the top of that at that angle. I'm going to trim this a little bit. I'm going to tuck that in. I'm going to actually pleat it underneath there. And then I'm going to bring this up. And we're going to get a tack, Jimmy.
I believe you have the tax covered.
gonna trim this a little bit more because we have a lot of fabric left. Look at that. I'm gonna trim that. I'm gonna come all the way to the top. I'm gonna get a pin tack up top there. See that? Now you guys, you can't do everything at once, so you see how we have this up at the top of the corner? It looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a problem, but it'll be fine. What you wanna do is ignore that. So I'm coming to about an inch from the top to the corner, and I'm stretching it. Stretching it up, and I'm stretching it this way a little bit. And I'm gonna get a pin tack right in there. When you put a pin tack in, you guys, try to separate your fingers and try to get your fabric to be close to where you're tacking, right? So that it doesn't bounce off.
Oh, nice.
Now look at
Very
that.
nice, Kevin.
So now the good news is, you could trim this a little bit more. I'm gonna get to the good news in a minute on the sides. Okay, we're just gonna trim that and get another pleat right near the top like that, and a pleat this way. Did you see that? And then, Jimmy, follow your tack line in there, right? You can get a couple of tacks in there. This doesn't require too much stretching, just a little stretch this way. I want you to finish tacking like where my fingers are, like that. Okay?
Wow. Excellent work.
Hey, almost looks like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, okay. How's that, Kevin? Just two, you said, correct?
Let's see. So you're still out a little bit, but we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that with the staple gun.
Okay.
Okay, now, do you want to attempt that cut over there? Did you follow all the steps, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, I think maybe you should probably...
Why don't you do this? Why don't you
I outline it?
take a couple of minutes just to prep it, and then outline it with the chalk.
Okay.
See if you can remember all the steps. Do you have your chalk?
Of course, I think you had it, I gave it to you.
No, we got plenty of chalk.
Thank God.
Yeah. Chalks are us. There we go.
Wow, almost a full piece,
Yeah.
wow. I'm getting some ground here.
Getting up there in the world.
Okay, Kevin. So I gave you one here, and then one down.
So with that second one, you're remembering the bottom, which is a different series of cuts.
Ah.
So this up at the top there, it's a
This one here?
different cut. So you're good with the first one.
This
Okay, and
one.
I'm gonna just cut that one. Ignoring that. I'm gonna angle it just a little bit. Okay. Okay, we can tuck that in. And you're good with the second cut, except that on the second cut, you might wanna angle it this way. But I think you would have been okay. I think you would have been okay with that, but you're a little too top heavy on that, too top. So I'm gonna,
Too high.
I'm just gonna angle it this way. So, and I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out just a little bit. You know, we can get another cut there.
Wow.
Let's see how we're doing here. And actually, you can even get a deeper cut right there. I'm gonna cut it this way. And what I want you to do is stretch it. I wanna see how you do. Stretch it up to the top, get it tacked, and then come back down here and try to, you know what, I'm gonna get a staple in here actually. because I'm right here, I can do it. Let's just do this. Sometimes if you're sure of a cut, you can staple it, and I'm sure about that. Now I need you to stretch that up to about an inch from the top, and then get some more pin tacking on that side. Looking good. So some things we can't do, which if you can do it with the small tacks, or people are using tacks at home, they can use a small 3-ounce tack for this. But we do need to get a little bit of a pleat on this, so I'm going to do it with the staple. So the first tack or staple has to be put. See, first of all, I think I like all this. I'm going to continue my tack, my staples up here. I'm trying to be careful on where I put my staples, right? You don't want it in the wind, so up in the wood. So I'm looking at each. Before I push the trigger, I'm looking at each spot to make sure that I'm not in your wood, right? You're going to take these pin tacks out after I'm done. Half the way over here, Jimmy, okay? I'm working my corner. Okay, and your tack here is a little bit high, but we know that you might have to go back.
Well, I'll have the trimming too, that will help it.
Well, it won't help that one because you're a little bit over into the wood, but I think you can fill that up with a little plastic wood. These things can be expected with this. It's just tight quarters. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get just a teeny pleat in here. You can hardly see it, you guys, but it does require a little pleat. If you come over to the side, Jimmy, and take a look at that, you'll be able to see just a teeny pleat. The camera might not even be able to pick it up.
Oh
See
yeah,
it?
I
Just
got
a
it.
teeny.
Yeah, very much at the corner.
Okay, so bring that. Let's go this way. Show the camera what I'm going to be doing on this side. You don't mind if I finish this, do you?
No, go right ahead. You have the gun.
Bring it this way, Jimmy.
Which way?
The other way.
Oh, the other way.
Now normally I'd be in front. I don't want to ask you to do this because you have to stand off to the side, and I want people to see it. I don't think you mind either, do you?
No, I have less camera time today, but that's okay. I can deal with it.
Just gonna. Plus, you got the additional problem. Can you grab that remover, that tab remover? Can you take that out, Jimmy?
Oh.
Take the other one out too. So you're a little bit above, see?
Okay.
Let's see.
Now you would normally, when you're stapling something like this, you would always start from the top, middle, and work to the sides and see where you are in the corners to show that, or is that?
Oftentimes,
Doesn't matter.
that first stretch, like that stretch right there, is really important. Because if you've that stretched properly, you could just kind of smooth it up like I just did there with the pin tack, which you did. Just smooth it up. And tack. Even I have to look. It's hard. You're working blind. That's the disadvantage of not having to be able to fold it. You don't want to, you see, folding it is not going to get this as tight as we want it, and it needs to be tight.
So you would not fold this, you would always stretch it and leave it as is and then trim.
This one you can't because we talked about the padding. It's got the extra padding. So it's interesting how that things changes. It makes it a harder job, doesn't it? Then this was a little easier, right? And I'm just going to get this tack up here. I'm working my way to the corner, you guys, on this side too, right? gotta take this tack out so I can see what I'm doing here, Jimmy. And I'm gonna fold this back so people can see what I'm doing. Folding this back. So my goal here, you guys, I'm just gonna turn this slightly this way, Jimmy.
Okay.
My goal here is to try to get a little pleat with the fabric up at the top here. So I'm gonna continue my stapling up to here, and then that's gonna, the top will pleat over. I don't know, it's really hard to show this. And I'm gonna, now I have to be like a contortionist to show people. I really want to show them this. See how hard it is to show?
To get that certain angle on it.
And I got to stick my head in there just a minute. See, I got a little bit left over for a little bit of a pleat. See that? Just a teeny pleat up at the top, you guys. Okay. Oh, now I'm a little too low. See what I did?
Oh,
It's because I'm standing off to the side. Can you hold that for a second?
you didn't have your laser-guided staple gun with you today.
Well, that's right. I have to. Now I have to do surgery, so I'm gonna have to stand in front of the
Surgery?
camera because I'm too low at my staple. See, you guys, I made 2 mistakes on this.
We're gonna
Quickly
have to-
catching.
We're
my
gonna have to
mistakes.
edit that out, you know.
No, let's keep it in because I think people will know that. Hey, I'm only a human being, Jimmy. I am not an animal.
down with that,
I am
Kevin?
not an animal. I am a human being.
Oh, let's not have confessions now. We
Well,
don't
come on, what movie was that?
I'm only a human being, God, I don't know how
Oh, you don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
I am not an animal. I am a human being.
Oh, it sounds like Marlon Brando.
I can't believe you don't know that movie.
No, I don't, right.
Oh, you
Go ahead,
you
go-
get most of my references, but not that
Yeah, well,
one.
yeah, okay, so I missed one. All right, now I've had my mistake today.
Oh, it's a famous scene from a very heartwarming film, very difficult film to watch sometimes. I'll give you a hint. It's the name of an animal, and then the second word is man. The first word, I guess there's 3. If I was playing charades, the first one would be the second one would be a big, very large animal, and the third one would be man. The blank man. The Elephant Man.
Oh, the Elephant Man.
That was the famous line.
I
from the
saw that
movie.
only once, I'm sorry. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
you know, I'm more of the, kind of the action.
Well, he was pleading with people to recognize that he was only a human being, right?
Well, obviously that was something for you.
This
and,
is my plea to you. Remember that I'm only a human being, so I make mistakes just like everybody
Again, we'll
else.
edit those out, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
we are keeping
Kevin will
those
be
in.
subscribing to his own videos after this.
So Jimmy, I have to undo this side now, which did I? Oh, we're all set here. We'll just get this. So now, the only thing we got to do now, we're going to bring this way. Let's show people over this side first.
Yes.
So let's show them the mistake that I made. Let's highlight it.
Yeah, let's highlight it.
Can you get right in there? This doesn't happen that much, you guys.
Yeah, so
Jimmy's excited.
I'm on pins and needles, ladies and gentlemen, and that doesn't happen too often.
It's like when the guy, it's like a perfect game in baseball, and it's 2 outs in the 9th inning,
And the guy hits that, yeah.
No, the guy hits a cheap single, or one of his other guys makes an error, and the guy gets.
I've had that before
Oh.
in my illustrious career.
So I have to take this apart because I foolishly stapled it. Okay, so we need that pocket left open for our inside back first, which is waiting. See, it was waiting in there, Jimmy, to come through, and it was saying, "He made a mistake. He made a mistake."
Help me. See, they were pretty good help me. It's all those acting classes from the town.
Isn't this called improvisation, or is that?
Yes, improv.
Improv, right.
If you're in the circle, you're in the improv.
Okay, so I'm going to staple that first. I'm going to staple the inside on second, and then I'm going to undo this beautiful pin that you have. And I'm just going to tuck the fabric in now that it's done its job. I'm going to staple the burlap, and then I'm stapling my webbing to the burlap, and then I'm going to fold this over like so.
I
Just
thought
kinda
we were
tuck it
going to
all
have
up.
a major league stitching session here.
Done. Let's take a look to see what it looks like.
Wow. Let's not get too excited. Let's keep
I
going.
am excited.
I can tell. It's whipping that thing around.
Yeah. Let me just check the time. Okay, Jimmy.
Do we have time to put a side on? Would you like to put a side
You
on?
know what? I think I'm gonna save the side. My strategy. Let's just finish. Let's just go with this. Let's finish this first.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna give you some homework.
Oh God, not homework.
So, let's see if I can show you this, guys. So this gets stapled. The inside back gets stapled first. The inside arm gets stapled over the inside back. We're just going to tuck that in, undo the pin, right? Bring the burlap back, staple that down. There's a lot going on in here, isn't there, Jimmy? And then
Yes, I haven't seen this much, yeah.
and then we're going to staple if we can get staple in. Guess what? We got so much fabric to get a staple in. That's tight. Then we're going to bring this, and we can even get that stapled up like this. Get it out of the way. And that's just about ready for our outside arms. Okay?
Okay.
So
I'll-
Jimmy, bring this way.
Yes.
And I think perhaps,
I like this.
what do you think? Is this a good stop point for you right now?
Yeah.
I think we did a lot. There's a lot to that inside back, more than I realized.
Well, I thought so too. I mean, I knew there was going to be some cuts. I didn't know about whether you were going to cut this around or
Well, your
somehow.
homework is gonna be to take the pin tacks out, and then you're gonna cut back as close as you can to the staple.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. If
Okay.
you have trouble, let me know, but
Oh,
that's
no,
your
I-
homework.
Yes.
So for our next class, for class number 12,
Mhm.
okay, this is where you're really gonna start to see some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna show people. What Jimmy's gonna do, there's two ways. We're gonna get a little scrap, maybe scrap cotton or scrap Dacron and kind of put it in here,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe like a half a layer of Dacron or cotton over that.
Okay.
And then you're gonna panel, just like you did the arm.
Mhm.
That's for next time. And then I'm gonna give you homework, is you're gonna finish paneling the rest of it, see, because it's all the same.
Okay.
Once you know how to do one panel on the outside arm,
outside.
you could do the other ones.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Um,
I'll pin tack both sides.
just do the one. That's gonna be on camera next time. We're gonna show you. And then your homework is gonna be to do the other two, the
Okay.
outside arm, okay?
Okay.
But your homework this time is this.
Okay.
And also, you have a lot of, Jimmy's gonna go over the chair. He's gonna go over the rest of the chair, because you got a lot of pin tacks still left here.
Yes, I do.
He's actually gonna, don't trust your eyes, Jimmy, just go over it with your fingers, your hands, to make sure you get it.
Oh, yeah.
And then go in here, you've got tacks in here, loose tacks in here, go over the whole thing.
Mhm.
And again, this here, you're gonna have trim. So next time, we're gonna see this all ready for the outsides, okay?
Yes. Perfect. Yes.
I had 3 cups of coffee, that's why I'm going, and I'm walking right all
Oh,
over
good.
you.
Well, then you can stay a little late tonight and finish up that sofa that you started today.
Well, thanks, we'll see you next.